I'm going to let you in a little secret. If you supplement with calcium and magnesium and fish oil, your fingernails grow really fast. How's that, eh? Brilliant. What an interesting thing to let you know. Really interesting. Right. So, if you want a self-development book to read, if you're into that crazy shit, there's a book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by a guy called Mark Manson, which is a very good book to read. And I highly recommend it. And that's actually the title. I'm not just being crass on the Facebook. That's actually the title, yeah? So The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. Really, really good book. And one of the things that Mark Manson talks about in that book, which is something that I have to remind myself every day, which is you are not special. You are not special. And the premise behind you are not special is that we all kind of think that our stories or our reasons for stuff make us special. So, for example, if you want to do something and you're currently not doing it, it's sometimes this thinking about being special that stops you from doing the thing you want to do. If that makes sense. So if I look in close proximity to what I do, so looking after yourself better, weight loss, fitness, all the whole shooting match. When people make excuses for not doing it, a lot of the time it's because they think they're special and they think they're different. So they think that their reasons for not doing it make them special, whereas actually they don't, because there's other people doing it with less and whatever. So one of the key things to remember when you make an excuse for not doing something, whether it's, I don't know, earning more money, having a better relationship, being in better shape, feeling better, having more confidence, whatever it is, one of the key things to remember before you make the excuse for why, or tell the story for why you're not doing it, is you're not special. And that reason that you're giving, unless it's a physical limitation, but if it's a physical limitation, then it means that you wouldn't be wanting to do the thing anyway because you physically can't. And we're talking about things that are physically possible. So when you tell the story or you make the excuse, a lot of times it's because people think they're special. And you can actually look, if you don't have to look, very hard to find people that are doing more than you with less than you, yeah? And one of the reasons is they know they're not special and they know they've got to earn it like everybody else has got to earn it. And that principle, so forget tactics, forget diets and gyms and running and fitness and all these things, forget that. Think about that key principle. You are not special. You're not different. It's not different for you because of X, Y, or Z. We're all going through stuff. We're all trying to make a sense of all this stuff that we're doing. So it's not about that. It's about what do you want to do, and if you really want to do something, you'll find a way to do it. Yeah. And actually, a lot of the things that people want to do are not as complicated or as difficult as they think. They just need to find the right direction because they overcomplicate things. But number one guiding principle over all is you're not special. So your excuses, they don't make you special because they're cookie cutter a lot of times. That particularly stories and excuses that I make, I bore myself with them sometimes. It's when I get bored. I'm like, I'll tell a story and I go, or to make an excuse, and I'm like, I'm bored of telling myself this. I'm bored of this. So it's it's that thing. It's really, really good principle to acknowledge. You're not special. You're not different. It's not different for you. And no matter what's happened, as long as you can physically do things, and I'm assuming if you can watch this video and you're on Facebook, you can physically do things. There are ways and means for you to do everything that you want to do. Not the ridiculous stuff you hear the self-help gurus talking about riding a unicorn down a gold brick road to a mansion. Not everybody wants that stuff. You've got to change your expectations. You're never going to get a beach body. You're never going to look like Zac Efron or the female equivalent of him. You're never going to look like these people. You've got to set your expectations realistically, and once you've done that, then you've got to accept you're not special, and it's not different, and you've got to do the work. You don't get the velvet rope treatment. You don't get a free pass. You've got to get in the queue, and you've got to do your work. And like I heard the other day, you've got to take your medicine. Yeah, and as much as that'll annoy you, and some people will resist and then think they're special because they don't have to listen or whatever. That doesn't matter. You're not special. You're not different. You've got to do the work like everybody else. And trust me, there are people doing more with less. But because we think we're special and we go in our bubbles, we don't ever go out and learn and say, hang on, if so-and-so's doing it, why can't I learn from them? We just sit there, think we're special, think we're unique, think we're different, and we just tell ourselves stories and make excuses and never actually achieve anything. Now remember, that whole fitness knobhead motivational thing about excuses is nonsense. That whole, you can have excuse, you need to move away from that. A better way to look at it is the story that you're telling yourself. You're making yourself different and special, and you're not, because it doesn't make you different and special. That's the difference. Forget excuses. Think about, do I think I'm special, and do I think I get exempt from the work that most people have to do to get where they need to get? And if you do, that's where the problem lies. Yeah, that's where the problem lies. You're not special. You've got to do the work like everybody else. That's all I've got. Have a good day.